What if I told you that Cereza is hinted in this scene? How are we going today, everyone? My name is Rakun. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. One of my biggest predictions is that the second Armageddon is going to happen, and it doesn't matter which timeline it is. It can be the second timeline or the first timeline. It's going to happen. And basically, the adventures of the third installment will, or probably even half the adventure, will be revolving around fixing that Armageddon. Keep in mind that the amalgamation of the Trinity of Realities is going to cause mayhem in the new world of Bayonetta. The antagonist, whoever that is, would likely use this to expose the corrupt fellowship of Paradiso or even Inferno itself. Then he'll use the power to reign over this new universe, the combined universe. So our adventure will consist of continuing in this combined universe. Who knows, there might be time loops or time portals that can go back in time to meet other witches, but basically this world is a mess right now. Eventually, towards the end of the game, there's going to be an epic showdown between our Bayonetta and the antagonist, whoever that might be. Where we still don't know who this antagonist is. It would be really cool if they could reveal it at the end, actually. This is a huge antec in the Bayonetta series where they don't reveal the plot twist at the very end. Of course, that's common, but they always put very obvious hints throughout the course of the game. So the main antagonist and Bayonetta are going to have this short conversation before they fight, and he's going to insinuate how he's been forgotten by her, and basically been forgotten by the whole Umbran clan and the Lumen Sage clan. He eventually reveals himself to have been watching her throughout all these years through her adventures. Notice the colors of the two cats. They are the two same colors that you see in a calico cat. And I know that in shonen shows that sometimes these cats are usually humans in disguise. For example, Blair from Soul Eater and Natsume Sensei from Bungo Stray Dogs. Now you may ask why I'm being so pessimistic or why I think the Trinity of Realities will be combined, but it's logic. Interesting plot, the apocalyptic foreshadowing of the blood moon in the teaser, and the use of purple, which is like red and blue, the eyes of the world, combining and finally being succeeded. And also the prophecy of the forbidden child, the event of apocalypse has not happened yet. So it would make sense to make it on the third installment. This may not necessarily be the end of Bayonetta, but it could be the end of the saga, the Eyes of the World saga as I call it. And now back to the main theory. If you haven't watched my Whittingham Lover Theory, or now I like to call it the Whittingham Sibling because it can't necessarily be a lover, or it could not be a lover, we don't know, please click that link right above. So while making the script of this video, I wanted to listen to some OST. More specifically, some Bayonetta Bloody Fate OST. Now I stumbled upon the main song, but in Japanese. Night I Stand by My Fujisawa. Now if you scroll down on that video, I'd like to thank Evaristo Morera for translating this from Japanese to English. The official English one is not a direct translation. Basically, here's the translation, but I want you to look at the second verse of where he translates. In the path to return, I think of my loved one. To keep away, I ran away and erased my heart. Now that is a very interesting thing to me. The developers rarely like to put official romance, but they love to tease romantic and lewd encounters. I think that's the antic of Bayonetta. The writers understand that obvious romance is quite redundant, leaving that for the fans' imagination. Again, they love to tease it but never make it official because honestly it just takes away from the epicness of the game. Even Kamiya saying in a tweet that Radahn and Bayonetta have this special relationship, although I do ship Radahn and Luca and also John and Bayo. Like honestly, any ships are fine with me. I don't mind. Anyway, so it's so interesting to me that they showcased a loved one, quotation marks, as an official Bayonetta OST. It also matches my speculation that there could have been a loved one, or a sibling, or another forbidden child. It doesn't really have to be a loved one, but basically someone who has been close to Bayonetta as a child who is now forgotten. I think that's the best way to describe the Whittingham Lover Theory. Also having Bayonetta erase her heart to keep away, quotation marks, sounds like my previous video speculation. Maybe since the little one was so isolated and discriminated for being the forbidden child, she was close friends with someone before he was banished, which makes the little one name her doll Cheshire and become so attached to it that everyone had their memories wiped of this forbidden child, only leaving a remnant of himself in Cereza's doll. You know, this really reminds me of like a Lumen Sage as a child cutting his hair and giving it to Cereza as his last goodbye. It feels so medievalistic to me. Now, of course I know that there were different directors, but it's interesting to have an official song of a movie based off the first game, where it all started, and eventually it might be a hint for the last game of the arc. But remember, pure speculation. Now, moving on to the official game universe, I found one more clue to say that Cereza could be back in Bayonetta 3. Now, I know this may be small, but it might have a bigger meaning to it. All of our clues were in the Bayonetta 2 ending. Some of you have already spotted these by now. When John is being brought back to the human world, she says something eerie.
Be careful, Cereza. Something big is going to happen to our world. I know. Just go home.
and no stopping or turning around along the way.
Something big is going to happen. Now, she could have been referring to the rise of Icea, but she has not met the one that we've met in the game yet. While she was in prison, did she probably overhear something or someone? Maybe she has a gut feeling that the second Armageddon is going to happen. The thing is, whenever there's a purple subject or an item in the scene, it feels like they're trying to tell us that this is foreshadowing of Bayonetta 3. There's strangely an abundance of purple items in the ending cinematic, especially in the highlighted subjects like the use of Radahn's purple car instead of Enzo's green one, and also the flyers he's throwing out. Now, remember when Enzo crash landed that plane? Well, if you look in the gallery for Bayonetta 2, and I have to thank Gaming4Fan for this, his plate number is actually B278ED, which is the hex color code for purple. So it seems like they are foreshadowing Bayonetta 3 or subtly saying to us we should be paying more attention. Anyway, what if I told you that Cheshire is hinted in this scene? Side note, Cheshire is also the name of the purple plushie that the little one has. Now listen closely.
Cereza, cat got your tongue? No. No. I'm fine. Cereza, cat got your tongue?
When I rewatched this, I was shocked. Of course, this can be a figure of speech when many people use it to say to someone when they can't speak. But the thing is, Bayonetta says, no, I'm fine. But we all know that I'm fine means something completely different. John didn't even ask an "are you okay" question, but more so, you seem a little quiet. Answering "I'm fine" to that question, coupled with her facial expressions, it could mean that she was thinking about Loki, or potentially even a faded memory, like Cheshire. So is this a foreshadowing that Bayonetta will encounter her long-lost childhood friend, Cheshire, or a potential Lumen stage that we haven't encountered yet? Remember, Kamiya can just put something in to destroy anything. All the clues and subtle hints do point towards that, but it's not to say that this could all be a coincidence. Remember, this is just a theory after all. It was just so interesting to me that towards the end of Bayonetta 2, there was so many suspicious hints to hint out what was coming next. But what do you all think about this theory? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'm going to be responding to every single one of them. If you haven't already, please do click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications and like this video so you will not miss a single episode of our Bayonetta 3 theories. I'm Rakun, I'm restoring a knowledgeable universe, and bye for now.